From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. Welcome to the 104th episode of the Business for Aligned Women podcast. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new or if you've been here from the start, I just want to reiterate that I really, really appreciate your time and energy. And I just hope that you're getting so much out of these episodes. If you have been listening for a while, or even if you're brand new, I'm currently running a competition with a listener survey. So I'm asking you for information about how you listen, why you listen, what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like me to cover in the future, and a couple of other little bits and pieces that will help me make sure that this podcast is the most supportive space for you in 2025. I do this survey every year and it strongly influences the topics of each podcast in the year going ahead. So if you love this free resource and you'd like it to be catered a little bit more to what you need in your business, there's a way to do that by filling out this listener survey. And if you fill out this survey before January 30, you will go into the running to win all of my self-led trainings. That is a value of about 1,600 Australian dollars. And these are things that are going to set up your entire business, from your brand foundations, your marketing foundations, to how to build a podcast that actually makes money, to how to make sure that you're living in alignment with your values as a starting point for creating an aligned business. They're absolutely incredible courses. People love them. Why not get all of them and have your business development sorted for 2025? You can fill out that about 30-minute survey from the show notes right now. I also wanted to let you know that I have a brand new freebie. It's in the show notes and it's a business cycle syncing guide. If you're like, yeah, I've done that, I don't need that, I just want you to know that there's a really special part in it where I've reflected on 7+ years of coaching women and the things that I've noticed in their ability to remain in an expansive and supportive state and productive state throughout their cycle. So I've noticed habits and behaviors, so much so that they've influenced the length of my coaching programs. Like I used to have an 8-week program, that's now 10 weeks, because I know that at an 8-week cycle of 2 of your menstrual cycles, you are going to hit a massive wall of self-doubt, because I have seen it play out with more than 400 women. So this cycle syncing guide is different. It's going to help you look at planning weekly tasks and what you should cover in them, what you should avoid, what you should be worrying about, what you should not be worrying about in different phases of your cycle, and also some red flags as to what you should definitely not do in those cycles. And I'm not just talking actual tasks, I'm also talking those epiphanies that you get. There's certain times in the month where they're not valid and they need to be shut down. You can grab that free guide in the show notes right now. But today we are talking about the fact that I myself personally grew a multiple 6-figure business in the wellness and spirituality industry. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is that people who've come to me as a business coach, which I've been doing since 2019, might not and don't know, because I've recently spoken to a client and she had no idea that I did this. So I want to let you know what I achieved and how I did it to build a multiple 6-figure business in the wellness and spirituality industry, which is pretty oversaturated and not the easiest industry to do that in. And it is also, I would say, the industry that I see people struggling in the most. And it also has a lot of strange conditioning in terms of mindset that I have developed some processes and ways of helping women decondition and get out of. So if you're new to the podcast or you're new to following me, and a lot of you are, you probably don't know this. You probably just think I've just always been a business coach, and my business guidance doesn't just come from the fact that I've personally built two multiple six-figure businesses, but I also built a couple of startups in the design industry in my 20s. So I was in the COO role in the executive support team of those startups in really, really crucial periods of that business growth. So I have business development experience in brick and mortar, real world multi-million dollar businesses with international stakeholders who are the top architects and designers in the world. And I've also got two personal examples where I have built multiple six-figure businesses purely online with a couple like physical retreats and a couple physical workshops, but for the most part, purely online. I just want to let you know that and talk to you about that experience. A lot of you are probably like, yeah, we know, you don't need to tell us about it, but there's a large group of you that have no idea that I've done this. And I do think it's quite hilarious because people often see me and they see like my Capricornian nature, my Saturnian nature, that beautiful little touch of Virgo that is creating all these amazing structures and systems for people. And they project onto me that I don't have a spiritual or emotional bone in my body. And FYI, I have a Cancer moon. And also, I am wildly spiritual and wildly wellness focused in my life. I could go through all the things that I have done, all the things that I do. You know, I joined two cults. I've been meditating for like over 6 years now. I do daily hypnosis. I'm always cleansing everything. Yes, I use crystals. Yes, I often have tarot readings, mainly astrology readings. I'm into my human design. I talk to my clients about their astrology. I'm not an expert in astrology, but I have learnt certain very specific parts of the chart that I can talk to for my business specifically, talk to them about their human design, all of this, okay? Not to mention the wellness side of things, the amount of money I've paid naturopaths is really embarrassing. And my first job out of uni was managing an alternative wellness therapy clinic that had 22 practitioners in it. So I know this stuff. In my own personal life, I'm doing my compression legs every night. I'm doing my dry brushing. I'm doing my legs up the wall, restorative yoga, somatic exercises for processing. I'm doing my journaling. I'm doing my infrared sauna. If you come into the upstairs of my house, we only have red light bulbs. I am so tripled down on this stuff, and I think people see me and they don't realize how embodied that aspect of things is. And why does that matter? Why do you care? Because if you have a business that is in the wellness or spirituality industry, and I do think that they're very intertwined, I respect you and I am doing the things. So to have a coach who actually gets it and has been there and has done it and also embodies it every single day in their life is a really big, important thing. So I'll give you a little rundown. I've had a couple of little like side hustles in my teens and 20s, mainly focused on wearable pieces, beading, necklaces, fiber-based art. And so I've done a few different little things, but I wouldn't really go as far as to call them a business. I mean, technically, how much money they made, they were a hobby for tax purposes, but I did need to get an ABN, I did need to pay tax. So they were okay. They were there. So I've been used to this kind of entrepreneurial spirit for a long time. But I first started my business, I don't know if it was 2016 or 2017, around there, and I was doing Reiki. I'm a professional Reiki healer. I don't know what level that is. I'm not a master, but I'm the one down from that. And that is how I started my business. And a little bit of a kind of butt kick moment for you is that I worked full time in that COO style, very high intense, big money, big stakeholder roles for 2 years while I was prepping this Reiki business, doing the courses, slowly seeing people on the side. It might not have been a full 2 years, but it was, it was there. I didn't just drop my job and start a business and expect it to pay for me, which sometimes that's something that people are running. So I started in Reiki, but then it really naturally moved over to I became an Ayurvedic lifestyle consultant and a Vedic counselor. And I also talked about traditional yoga philosophy and I taught yoga teachers about traditional yoga philosophy. We've all seen coaches pushing hustle. You might have even got caught up in the hype and tried it only to end up feeling more confused and burnt out than you already were. Imagine no longer feeling scattered, confused, stressed, but moving into a state of being supported, clear, and confident in your business today and where it's going in the future. That is why I created an intentional container to finally get out of the overcommit, overwhelm cycle and into a way of doing business that aligns with your energy. The 6-month sustainable success system for energy aware women business owners is a one-to-one program specifically made for women business owners who lean towards creativity, lean towards caring more about their physical well-being and using their energy in the most intentional way possible. I will coach you through each month of that 6-month program, and you'll have monthly business strategy masterclasses to get everything you need so that your business ends up running at a high professional level, which will help you create systems for sales and community growth. It's half a year of one-to-one support with someone who has done it and has been exactly where you are now. You deserve this level of support. It's time to step up without buying into the hustle. There's only 4 spaces available in this program and they're filling up fast. It won't run again until September. I started practicing yoga when I was about 11 years old and I came in and out of it for that whole period. So it was 20 plus years of practice and very, very much a hyperfixation around Ayurveda. And in all of my life, I've been very hyperfixated, probably that Saturn Capricorn energy in philosophy. And I found that this particular kind of yogic philosophy was really aligned with Stoicism, which is something that I've been really into for a very long time as well. So I did that, let's say 2017 to 2019, and that was a multiple 6-figure business. I was making around $200,000 a year, upwards of $150,000 a year, doing this mainly from my apartment, working with really beautiful people. And I did it with maybe I spent $300 on ads in that whole time. So it was all organic reach. So I just want to kind of reiterate to you that if I can do it, you can do it too. And there's no reason why you can't do it if I can do it. And if I've been able to replicate that and make even more money and have even bigger community in my second kind of official business as a business coach, you can absolutely definitely do it as well. Now, if you are into this stuff, you're probably into human design. I'm a 3-5 generator, and the biggest piece of that is that essentially I've done all of the experimentation and all of the work, and you pay me a fee, and I just tell you exactly what to do and what to not bother doing because I've tried it and it didn't work. So there's millions of things, and you could spend so much time trying things, learning things, giving things a go. And this is why my clients say that they feel like working with me saved them upwards of 5 years in their business because I am helping you cut those corners by stopping you from wasting time on experimentation that I have already done. Okay. Some of the really big pieces of how I did this, and totally honestly, and why this kind of works is that all of the little self-sabotagey and conditioning things that I call you out on and I see people doing, I did them as well. I'm not speaking from a pedestal. I'm speaking from the exact same level as you. So for the first year, I didn't treat my business like a business. I did treat it like a hobby. I definitely treated it like a creative project, a free for all for my random ideas that I had. I had very little strategy. And as soon as I started going, all right, I've learned all this stuff building those startups, rather than being a bit of a clown, why don't I integrate that knowledge into my own business? I did that. And then all of a sudden I wouldn't say blew up, but it was making more money than those executive level kind of COO roles that I was in before. I just want you to know that I have done this. I can help you do this. If you are in a wellness or spirituality business and you are struggling, get me who has walked that path to take your hand and show you the easier pathway there. If you want me to teach you exactly how I did it in a container that has been specifically curated for your vibes, as in someone who's interested in wellness and spirituality and someone who prioritizes energy and prioritizes well-being, I have made the 6-month sustainable success system for energy aware business owners for you for this exact purpose. In 6 months' time, your business will look completely different. Your mindset will be completely up-leveled, and you will have all of the systems of support in your business to start making more sales and growing your community, and more importantly, building your confidence and feeling way better in all of the amazing wisdom and gifts that you have. If this sounds juicy to you, and if you can tell that there's that energetic alignment there, check it out in the show notes. If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast a review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.